Never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. You have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send down an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your I hear you whisper, you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. I
Wow. Well, those were videos that we didn't do. Come on.
There, come on.
Come on. We're waiting for the cue, Alex. Yeah, Brandon, you're up. Oh, wait. Order. Well, as you can see, we had an amazing time at the Christian Activity Center. For those of you who don't know, we went to East St. Louis, Illinois, 2 weeks ago now, and spent a week at the Christian Activity Center, which we've had a relationship as a church with for the past 20 or so years, maybe 30, I'm not even sure. It's been a long time. But with the new group of youth, we've had them down for VBS several times, but these guys had never had the joy in the experience of going to the center and getting to experience where these kids are coming from, and just getting to see their walk of life and, you know, what all they're going through. So I'm sure you're going to hear all kinds of different stories from all of these guys, and then I'll finish it up, and if we've got any extra time left after these guys, we'll get some of our other adults to come up and talk. So yeah, I'm excited to hear what they're going to say.
Morning. Morning. I'm Connor. This is I think it was my second mission trip, and it's also the farthest I've ever been away from home, so I was kind of feeling kind of weird about it at first, but once we got down there, I think just all of us surrounding each other, the whole youth group, kind of like calmed it down a little bit, so it made you feel comfortable around everyone. But I had a really good time down there, honestly, just as good as the first one, and I'm sure everyone else had a really good time as well. And I'm just going to be talking about everything that I did around there. So basically, first started off, the first day we got there early in the morning before any of the kids ever got there. And Matt gave us a tour around their whole property. And I'm just going to cut the story into so I did then. So we first got there when the kids came in, they were all so happy to see us. They were like, oh, new people to play with. And we first started off, I think I started off playing basketball with the kids. It was really fun. They had so much energy, they were running me to death. And then after that, I think I went to the station. It was me, Ethan, and Trevor. We went to the fingernail painting station and / shirt station. And one of the girls was like, can I paint your fingernails? I was like, sure. Might as well. I already came in doing that the first time I was there. Well, the first time I went in there because I heard about it. And really, after that we went to the zoo, had a really good time there. I got a nickname called, I got apparently a little mustache now. It's great. Had all fun, the kids had fun, really fun. After that, I think, where did we go to that little splash pad? Yeah. We went to the splash pad, just go around there. I was cold, the water was too cold, honestly, for me. The kids played kickball and everything. They had a really good time. We ate pizza there, which was really fun. What else did we do? Well, that's all I can remember right now. The whole thing, I just remember that I had a lot of fun there with the kids. It's probably my favorite mission trip out of the two, honestly, just because you're more interactive with the people, and it's just fun knowing that you're learning about these kids and how they really are and how they live through. And that's all my stuff I have to say. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Jackson. This was actually my first mission trip. This was the farthest I've ever been away from home without my parents. It was definitely a different experience for me. I've gone to Tennessee for baseball. I've never really gone to just play or make connections with people. I believe that I did make a connection and a difference to the kids, but even if I didn't do that, they definitely did that in me, and I don't think that can ever be reversed.
Good morning, I'm Megan. That was my brother, so excuse the tears. This was... I'm going to stare at you the whole time I say that. Stop. This was my third mission trip with Yak, and I'm going to talk about something that it's not really a story, but it's just kind of something that stuck with me the whole week. And I'm just going to preface this with, I came on to this band for the mission trip, and I was already listening to the most emotional Jesus music I could find because I was prepping myself, and I was like, Megan, you're going to keep yourself together. I was like, this mission trip, keeping yourself together. Well, God said no. So we get there Monday morning to the CAC, and Matt, who's the head chaplain of the CAC, is giving us a tour. And I kind of lost it on the tour on Monday morning. Yeah. Again, God said no. So Matt was telling us the story about how across from the elementary school where most of the CAC kids go to school, that Chet, who is the director of the CAC, and a few other CAC people or whatever, just took like a big chunk of land right in front of their entrance to their school and planted sunflowers, just so the kids would have something nice to look at while they're going to school one day. And that's just kind of, it stuck with me because I thought, you know, if we did that across like Lockhart Elementary or any other school like in Ninedale or anything like that, would we really appreciate it when those kids really appreciate it as much as the CAC kids did or as much as the kids who go to that school did? Because you look around and it just makes you so grateful for what you have coming back here. So that was just my little tidbit. It stuck with me the whole week. I'll never look at sunflowers the same way again, so thank you, God. Yeah, that was okay.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hi, Brandon. Just say whatever you want. Say what's on your heart.
This is my second mission trip, and yeah, I mostly juggled while I was there, like for 4 hours a day, teaching too, and I taught a lot of them. I taught you, right? Sorry. Did I teach you? I tried. And you. And I tried teaching the kids. I taught one of the actual adults at the center too. Thank you. Also met other juggler there. Other juggler. And then, yeah. I made tacos.
You did. You did make tacos. They were good tacos.
Yeah, Isaac. Who wasn't on the slideshow for some reason.
That's not my fault. Corey made it. Don't look at me. Corey made it.
This is my dog.
There he is. Yeah, I'm gonna get him for you.
There he is.
Don't look at me. I didn't make
I
it.
sent you home.
I know.
This is Isaac.
Okay, let's see. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
The guy at the zoo we went to, he is an African wild dog. And yes. See our new mascot?
Sure.
Yeah.
He's very artsy.
Yep. He's our new mascot. I'm gonna take him everywhere I go now. I'm taking him to Florida.
There
Going
you
to
go.
Florida. Yeah, that's it.
So, I'm David, and this was my third mission trip I've been on, and it's probably, to me, the most fun one that we've been on so far. But I would just like to thank everyone that took the time to prepare all the care packages for everybody that went on this mission trip with me, and even the daily note cards, I guess you call them, was something that kept me motivated the whole week. So, thank you.
Hello, my name is Logan, and this is the third mission trip I've been on with the Yak, but this is my first one as a chaperone. So, yeah, I had this one, going into it, I was a little nervous because I felt like it was going to have a lot more responsibility weighing down on me to, you know, kind of show myself and prove that I could be somewhat of a leader, I guess. So, but afterwards, and all things said and done, I feel like it didn't really change too much. I still had an awesome time like I thought I would, and I spent the time with the people that I cared about. So, the biggest thing that I did, I think, and that had the biggest impact were the t-shirts. You saw a lot of them on the slideshow. And it was just a thing where we would sit down at a table and the kids would pile in the room and they would tell us what they wanted on it, whether it be their name, a cartoon character, a basketball player. There were so many Stephen Currys up there. So many. But there were also a lot of cross and Jesus and God and a lot of stuff. So we were definitely doing things, and a lot of them had the right idea and they had a great time with what we provided for them. It has definitely had an impact on me too, seeing how devoted a lot of them are to what is provided for them and all that kind of stuff. So me being not the best artist and seeing them walking around with what we've given them and them valuing it as much as they do, it means a lot. So.
Alright, so hi, I'm Trevor. This is also my third mission trip I've been on. This was by far my favorite, and I'll be talking about, so they had like a back to school bash, and they got school uniforms and backpacks for free, and me knowing that they do not have a lot like of clothes and stuff, because I saw a couple of kids who only wore like one t-shirt and one pair of shorts the whole week, and it really meant a lot to them. And for the backpacks, we started an assembly line, and we each put stuff in there. We had glue sticks, papers, scissors, pencils, pens, just stuff that they needed for school. And we put it in a backpack, and then we put them in the gym. We had like, how many? Like
700 book bags.
700 book bags, and we passed them out. And I was passing them out, and just seeing how happy the kids were, it really meant a lot to me, because we're blessed beyond measure, and we're blessed beyond measure, and knowing that they don't have a lot just really makes me happy.
Hey, my name's Ethan. So this is my third mission trip also, just like Trevor and David. This mission trip was by far like my favorite. I got to interact with all the kids at the CAC. Like, I made so many relationships. I saw so many kids that came and stayed at my house a few years ago. Some of them I didn't recognize. I felt kind of bad, but they were like, "Hey, Ethan." I was like, "What's your name again?" So I felt kind of bad because of that. But I got to see all these like new faces, old faces, faces I don't recognize. But I have a story for y'all. After the zoo, we went to Wendy's, and these kids don't have a lot of money. They have like $10, and they have to pay for stuff at the zoo shop, and they bought food at Wendy's. And one of the kids I hung out with the whole time offered to pay for my food because I didn't eat anything at Wendy's. And I was like so shocked, because they care so much about you, and like they just want to, like, if you make a relationship with them, they love you like so much. They put so much, like their heart is like pounding for you. And it was just amazing to me just to think like they want to pay for my lunch, and like we're blessed like way more than they are, but they care about us so much, and that's what I have to say.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, so we're missing 9 people. So Samantha, Becca, James, Rick, Corey, can you please come on with us? If you guys went on the trip with us, so please make your way to the stage, please. Thank you.
Of course, like all balloons.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Come on, Corey, come on. We'll wait for Corey to get down here. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right.
Miss Smith and Taylor and Terry.
Okay, all right, we're still missing some people, but everybody that's here is here. So my name is Charles. I am head security for the Youth of Black youth group. We're kind of short staffed, so we're hiring. If anybody needs some extra hours or money, we are hiring for our security team. No, but seriously, my name is Charles. It's my 3rd mission trip as a chaperone with this group. I don't think I'm a chaperone, to be honest with you guys. I think it's a dumb word. I just like to have fun with these kids and all these people up here, man. It's been amazing last week. I don't have my script. I threw it away, so I'm just gonna wing it and just say what's on my heart. This week has been awesome, just with all these people up here. Definitely our most impactful trip as a group. Just the drive up there, 15 hours, and making memories and creating bonds that'll last forever. Driving back and just creating bonds with this group, because that's important. But also just creating bonds with those kids up at East St. Louis. It's really tough. Coming back home was kind of sucky because you have so much fun up there and you just want to stay up there for like a month, and it's just awesome. And those kids, they're on your mind 24/7 because of their lack of resources that they have up there, and just the community. When we were driving up there, Corey told us to look around and see how many businesses were kind of discontinued and how devastating the community looked, and it was really bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was really, really bad. Just being in that community, but just being at the CAC every day and seeing those kids come to the center every day, and it feels like they're not even there. They come with smiles on their faces. They come to have a good time, and it's like they wake up and they don't really care where they are, and it's sad, but they don't care. They don't let that hold them down. They keep going each day and keep living their lives, and that's something that I think we should all take with ourselves. Is life is hard, and we all wear different sizes of shoes, and we all wear different sizes of shirts and pants, but we have to get up every morning and do what we have to do to make it right, because there's an East St. Louis in every city in America, and unfortunately there's kids out there that's suffering, there's kids out there that's struggling, but they got to put a smile on their face and tackle the day. So we did our best to try to help those kids at the CAC and have a great time, and we had a great time. And thank you guys for your prayers and your support. To all the prayer partners, thank you. To my prayer partners, the Pattersons, I'm being selfish, but thank you guys. You guys are awesome. But to all the prayer partners, thank you guys for taking your time out and creating those packages for us and giving us extra motivation, because God knows we need it for the week. It was a very long week. And to the staff, to Alex, you are awesome. Thank you for everything you do for these kids, and thank you for being a great big sister to all of us, and especially for me. I appreciate you. Rick and Corey, thank you guys for driving. I know it's not easy driving, but appreciate you guys. And James, thank you for coming along. It's nice hanging out with you for a week. It's a dangerous combo, me and James.
There's a lot of energy there.
A lot of energy. Logan, chaperone, thank you for coming along. Sam, Becca. We got the 3 Farrington girls back on a trip together. Isn't that awesome? Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. We should do that every year now. But seriously, guys, thank you guys for your support. And that's all I have.
Oh goodness. Stop. I don't even know where to start. There's so much that I want to share with you all. But one of the things I want to start with is backtracking and letting you all know what the CAC is. Why did we even go there? Who are these people? What are they doing? And many of you know, you've heard the news, you've watched it. St. Louis in Missouri is #1 dangerous city in the world. East St. Louis is just on the other side of the Mississippi River from there. Oh yeah, sorry. I said the world. It's the most dangerous in the United States. I'm sorry. But so East St. Louis is just on the other side of the river. East St. Louis is full of families and kids who do not have as much as we do, don't have the resources, don't have the money into their city, into their community. And like Charles said, you know, when we were driving around, there's so many dilapidated buildings of old businesses that used to thrive. And there's, you know, just for example, what was it, Tuesday night? So Wednesday morning when we get to the center, the kids are telling us about the shooting that happened 2 blocks down the road at the basketball court that they were playing on. So that's where we went. And, you know, I'm part of a Facebook group with other youth ministers, and we were reaching out to see, hey, is there a church kind of in Nashville that we could stay at? And one of the comments on there was, last time I drove through East St. Louis, my van got shot up. And I'm like, that's why we're going. Like, because God doesn't call us to just serve and love the safe places, the comfortable places. And that's part of our theme of the week, was going beyond our comfort zone and going beyond, because there's so much that we're given that, I mean, what's our church mission? Reaching lives for Jesus, right? That's what we're called to do. And so that's why we took our kids there. We knew that we did have a safe center we could go to. We knew we had a safe church we could stay at. But those kids are in that community 24/7. They were born into it. And so years ago, back in I think it was the 80s, Chet saw this need in the middle of this city for God. 6th Street, where the center is, used to be lined with prostitutes and all this, drug deals and, murders. I mean, it's literally like the worst place you could be. And so what does he do? He sets up a center right there in the middle of all of it, right beside what's called the Gompers, which are basically townhomes, apartments, where majority of the CAC kids live. Right there in the middle of all of that, he says, all right, God, we're going to plant you right here. And 30, 40 years later, it has grown into this amazing center where each day the kids come and they're open every day. They come in, the kids get lunch, and then they, go through all their stations, and they get to play, and then they get their afternoon snack, and then they have, different programs, and I think they close around 6. So the kids, they have this opportunity to come in every day, and then during the school year, I think they're open until 8, because they open they're open after school for a couple hours. But the way that the center works, when we went up, when I was in youth 9 years ago, it was just basically a free-for-all. There's the gym, you can go color, you can go play on the playground. It was pretty much just, hey, come in, here's a safe place for you to come. They have developed that now into, from this time to this time, you get your snack, your lunch. From this time to this time, it is free for all. You can go color, you can go play in the gym, whatever you want to. But then at 2 o'clock, a bell rings, and all the kids know what center they're supposed to be at, what station. And they have their recreation, which of course is gym, playing outside, whatever Archie has planned for them that day. They go to Kendra to help with math homework, or to refresh throughout the summer. They learn languages. A lot of these kids are learning 3 other languages that I've never even heard of. I mean, there's one guy there who literally can speak 10 different languages. Beyond me, but amazing. And he's there to teach these kids. What all were they doing? They have language arts and history. It's basically all of your school subjects. Martial arts. Yeah, I mean, these kids, they're coming and they're getting all this enrichment. And then every day there's Matt, who's the main chaplain, and he gives them a Bible study, a Bible story, some kind of lesson. So not only are they coming and getting help with school and homework, so that way they can go on and continue to have a future, but they're learning about Christ. Hence it is the Christian Activity Center. And it was just amazing to be a part of that for a week. So I know that we sit here in our lovely little Nightdale or Wendell, Zebulon, and we've got our nice little safe bubble, and we feel comfortable here. But we're called to go beyond this. And so all throughout this week, and the last several months of our youth ministry, we really, and you guys have all heard this, we've really focused on the verse Acts 1:8. And it says, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in all Judea and Samaria, and to all the ends of the earth." And that's what we talked about all week. And then we also talked about how much we are blessed. Our theme for Monday was we are loved beyond measure, and it's so much love in us that the only thing that love can do is pour out into others. And that's what we're called to do. Do everything in love. Tuesday was talking about trust beyond measure. Trusting God that we do have that Holy Spirit, our helper in us, to guide us through that journey that He's calling us on. Because we're all called to go and do something. And then Wednesday was that we are blessed beyond measure. We have so many blessings of things, objects, materials, but then we also have blessings of our gifts, our talents, and they're not our own. I think that's one of the biggest things that our youth took away this week, was that our blessings are not our own. They're not for us to hold on to. God doesn't give us these things to just say, "Good job, here you go, enjoy this." No, it's not just for us. And that's one of the things that when we were at the church in Nashville that Sunday morning, that their preacher talked to us about, was we are given all these fruits of the Spirit and all these talents. And again, they're not our own. And then on Thursday, after talking about being blessed beyond measure, we talked about having faith beyond measure. And how we are told that from Jesus that this faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. If we just have the smallest bit of faith, that's all it takes to do the impossible. Or what we think is impossible, because we all know nothing's impossible with God. And then Friday we talked about how that joy from doing all these things, from this love, from our blessings, the joy that we get from that, and the joy that it brings others when we serve them. There's just that joy beyond measure. So all of those things all combined just created this week of overwhelming emotions and just loving on kids, because in a nutshell, we spent a week playing with kids. But like we talked about with the youth for the several weeks before our mission trip, is God isn't calling us to do crazy, out of this world things. We serve Him through all of our daily routines, through all of the little things that we do, just loving people. Because just like Chet says from the CAC, kids spell love T-I-M-E. Just loving them and spending time with them, like James said. That's all we were really doing. And yet, that little bit did so much. Not just for us, but for those kids. And all we really did was go play with kids. And yet, it had so much impact on all of us and all of them. And that's really what we're called to do. It's just the little daily life things. Just small little things that make a world of impact. So, that's all I have. So we are the master of keeping time. It is 12:01. But if any of our leaders do have something that is on their heart to share, I don't want to say, hey, time is cutting us off. So James, Rick, Corey, Sam, Rebecca, if there is something on your heart you want to share, podium's yours. All right, real quick, I just kind of want to emphasize a little bit more of what the center can do. So throughout the years, we've had the groups come down from the center, and a couple of their leaders, Kendra and TJ, have come down with them pretty much every year. And I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time with Kendra and TJ just because the last few years, I either haven't been here or been working, whatever. But we had the joy of spending majority of the week with them. Kendra actually technically took off work. She works at the center, but she technically took off work so that she could be there but just hang out with us. And then every night, they came and hung out at the church with us. They came to the zoo and then Splash Pad, and then they went around St. Louis with us on Friday. But just having them there with us this week, or I guess last week, whatever, really I kind of helped show all of us how much the center can do. So Kendra and TJ both grew up in the Gompers, in that area, and they have both been very involved in the center. Like I said, Kendra works there. Kendra is the one who teaches math. Like, this woman is brilliant, knows what she's talking about. A lot of us have the view of, oh, well, it's just East St. Louis. Nothing good comes out of there. Nothing,
there is no positive there. No good people comes out of there. Why don't they just leave? Why don't they just try to get out of there? You know, you got to be able to stay and help your own community. And that's exactly what Kendra and TJ have shown us. You know, when it's bad, you've got to stay to help. You can become good inside of the bad. You can help, you know, the kids who are growing up just like you did in bad situations and help them realize, hey, just because you live in this really bad place doesn't mean your life has to be bad. Doesn't mean you have to be a bad person. The center is doing exactly that. It's showing them, hey, this is God. This is how He shows up in your daily lives. This is how God shows up in our daily lives when we only have a week to spend up there. And I think for me personally, Kendra and TJ helped show me that, you know, even when life is, you know, not so great, you yourself can be great with the help of God. And I really think, you know, they help show our youth that, yeah, like, not only bad things comes out of this area. Like, there are good things and good people who come out of the East St. Louis area. That's what I got.
So this is my first mission trip in a couple of years, but honestly I was the first one to put my deposit in when my sister gave me the go-ahead and said, yeah, there's plenty of room for whoever wants to come. Because I knew what the impact it had on me last time was, and I wanted one to go and see like the progress that it made, and then I wanted to experience the mission trip with all these guys. I'm gonna embarrass them. I changed a bunch of their diapers when they were little, so it was really cool to go on mission trips with them to see like how far they've come, and like, you know, like when we're all dedicated to the church, we take an oath that we're gonna help raise these kids, you know, in the church, show them the right way to go. And guys, we're doing a great job, and you know, we gotta keep that up as a congregation, pouring into these guys' lives, because, well, they're the future of our church, and if we don't pour into these guys and we don't show them the support that they need, or we're not that phone call, text message away, like, there's so many other churches in the area that can pull them real quick, or there's so many worldly things that's going to pull them away from us even faster. So keep up the good work, pouring into these guys. I enjoyed seeing, you know, the connections that they make when the kids come down here, but the connections that they made going up there and putting the two together, like, that was, like, topped it off for me. And then to go on a mission trip as a chaperone, that was a little weird too. Especially going with my chaperones, James, Corey, Rick, Christy, Terry. So that was a little bit of a role reversal, but in the end, I'm glad that I went. There's lots of stories. Jackson and I bonded over packing book bags and picking out book bags for kids. We'll just leave it at that. But I'm proud of each and every one of y'all for going, and I'm gonna go again. So ready or not, I'm back in.
Thank you, KBC, for helping to send this group on this mission trip. Thank you for your prayers, your support, your love. We cannot thank you enough for helping us make this possible. And we are already biting at the bit for where we're going next year. We don't know, we'll find out, but we are ready to go. And thank you guys for helping make that possible.
All right, one more time. So in Sunday school this morning, our topic was changing perspective, or altering your perception of things. Just as a child doesn't have the same perspective as an adult, adult doesn't have the same perspective as God. And things like this trip and the stories we've heard today are hearing people who have had their perspectives altered, who are finding their perception of things has changed. in light of what God has done in their lives. You won't see a sunflower the same way again. Charles is not just security for the youth, he's church security. If you need anything to back that up, talk to Christy Boggs one day when preschool's in. She's got stories to tell. But something he said is going to continue to stick with me from this. Every day, you as well have the opportunity to get up, to get dressed, to go out into the world, to make it right, to do what you can to showcase the love of God no matter where you are. I've learned in ministry there are two kinds of mission trips. The ones we usually put a lot of emphasis on are the ones where you can come back and talk about how tired you are from all the manual labor you've done. But there's another one that goes with that. The one that centers on being the hands and feet of Jesus in showing love to others, in building relationships, to share those meaningful stories that when you come back, you know your life will not be the same in light of the people that you have encountered. And that's what I heard from this group today. And so their excitement should also be ours. Their example as well should be ours. That we remember our goal is always reaching lives for Jesus. In our community, in our town, in our state, in our world. That with everything we do, we strive to make it right. And we reach out and show love and see that God is altering our perception of things every day. They have given the invitation with their story. So as we sing our hymn of invitation, number 591, hark the voice of Jesus calling, know that he calls to you. Where will you show his love when given the opportunity? Would you please stand as we sing? Reminders for you for this upcoming week. Deacons meeting tomorrow night. If you are a deacon, this is the last one for the church year, so some of you will be rotating off. Please make sure that you're at this meeting tomorrow night. We'll have much to discuss. Missions Weather's Night, finance, all those things going on this week. Training extravaganza this coming Saturday. If you've never been, I would encourage you to give that a shot. Forest Hills Baptist Church. You get there early enough, they'll even feed you. But if you are serving on a committee, if you're in any place of leadership, even if you're not, and you just want to strengthen some skill that you feel you have, please take a look at what the Training Extravaganza has to offer. It is free. Free. I can't emphasize that enough. Free. Unless you sign up for something where perhaps there's a book, it is free. Keep that in mind. It is free, and it's only one morning in a whole month, and it's free. You can go, and you can get so much out of it, and it's free. The other thing I do want to pay specific attention to, nominating has been talking to me about this as they are trying to fill out positions. They are looking for teachers in the 2 and 3 year olds as well as in the nursery. I know a lot of people might look at that and go, I don't think I had the energy to keep up with a bunch of little kids. You get to go back there and you get to play with little kids. And if you do a lesson, I mean, keep it in mind, attention spans, but you get to play with little kids. So if you're not committed to something, you got some time that maybe you can give to that, please. Be in mind, we're looking for those teachers. If you need any help, we have people who have been doing this for a long, long time that I'm sure will be glad to give you some necessary coaching if you need it and give you some of their own perspective in working with little kids. So with that, I would ask if you would, please take time. Talk to these folks that went on this trip. You got to hear a snippet of what they have to share. There are likely a multitude of stories they just did not feel they had the time to share today, otherwise we'd be here all afternoon. So find them, talk to them, hear about their stories and all that they experienced this week. Thank you all for sharing from your heart about what you have gained from this trip. We look forward to the ways that you'll continue to grow, not only in your capacity for leadership, as we've had the opportunity to see that, but to see you grow as Christians in your faith is the most rewarding of all. As we close out our service, I would ask if you would please bow for pronouncement of the benediction. Go now. Follow where Christ calls you. Proclaim the message God has given you. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Amen.